election in November.
All right. The festering feud between Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, is gradually becoming a matter of ethnic concern. Amid the escalating crisis, the Ijaw National Congress has issued a warning that an attack on Governor Fubara is an attack on the entire Ijaw nation. Meanwhile, members of the National Peace Committee, such as the former head of state, retired General Abdulsalami Abubakar, and the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Kukah, have been urged to intervene in the crisis before it escalates. Sonny?
Yes, sir.
Your perspective on this?
Yeah, it's interesting that we are still on this Wike Fubara matter, and it's not going to go away immediately unless the two actors call themselves to order. But it is not surprising that the Ijaw National Congress has come out to throw itself into the ring, that any attack on Fubara is an attack on the Ijaw nation. If you are familiar with the politics of Rivers State, you would know that in Rivers State, every time they talk about governorship election, they'll bring up the issue of upland and riverine. So the Ijaws are the riverine people. The upland people, the Wikes people, the Mechi people. And they have been in power. Yes, the Ikwere people. They have been in power in the last 16 years. So I think it is in that respect that Wike himself rooted for Fubara, a riverine man. Now, to throw in
power can shift.
Yes, in the spirit of power shift to balance, because since the days of Ada George, the riverine people have not produced a governor of Rivers State. Now, but it is overreaching for them to say that an attack on Fubara is an attack on the Ijaw. That's an overreaching oneself. What has happened here is beyond ethnic consideration. What has taken place in Rivers State is politics, which the key actors must also actively take steps to diffuse the tension. Like we said the other time we met here, it is nothing out of place for Wike and Fubara to come together. They even had a good starting point when the president, as the father of the nation, went out of his way to call the parties to say, look, let's make peace. It's not his business. He could have looked the other way, that after all, I'm not in your party. I'm the president of the country. Let me mind my business. But he called all of them. But having called them and spoken, have they made any amends? Have they realized that they are hitting up the polity? What they are doing, is it a part of peace? And now you are moving away from there. The peace accord that you entered into, nobody has given serious attention to that peace accord. It is left in abeyance, so to say. Now people are calling on Abdulsalami and Kukah to intervene. Intervene as what? How are they going to intervene? If they did not listen to a sitting president, is it Kukah or Abdulsalami who are outside government? Are they the people they are going to listen to? So the ball is still within Wike and Fubara's court to settle. Right now, I had some insight a few days ago. We discussed the other time when we asked, did the 25 lawmakers, did they actually leave the party, that's PDP? And I got to know that if you say you have left your party as a lawmaker, you will write to the presiding officer of your House of Assembly. It is not INEC, because we were thinking that, oh, INEC has not done what it's expected to do. They have called on INEC to call for election. No.
They didn't do that.
When you say you are leaving your party, the first step you will do to make it official and binding is that you write to the presiding officer. That's the clerk,
Yes.
right, of the State House of Assembly. Did they do that? If they did not do that, there is still a window for them to return to their party.
And they've not officially joined their awards.
So this thing that they are talking about may be in the firmament of the figment of rumors. They have not done the proper thing, because if they ask them now,
They're not properly defected.
where is the paper that you filed to show that you defected from PDP to APC? Where is that paper? Is it with the man who is now chief of staff to Fubara? Pardon?
Awule.
No, that is the current man. The first speaker who resigned.
Ehis.
Right. So, who has the paper that contains the names and signatures of they were 27 before, who said they are defected from PDP to APC? Was the paper filed by the presiding officer? That's what INEC will now use to say, okay, we have received a notice. Therefore, but if this has not been done, there's still a large window for these people to come back and make peace and return to save the people. Because what they are doing now, they are merely distracting the people. They are not saving the people until peace comes.
Okay, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. Don't forget, it's still Journalist Hangout. On Sunday, we'll be right back for the second half.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I am sure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijaw, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout, and we're reaching you from our studio here in Abuja, the capital of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And Jide, Siminalayi Fubara seems to have, copied the playbook of Nyesom Wike
Completely.
and he's talking now.
Yes.
He was laid back before. He wasn't talking. Now he's talking on a daily basis. Now he's flagging up projects,
the same
showing
way
it live. Yes.
And during the inauguration of those projects, he will now use it to talk.
Yes.
He will now use, is doing the
calling
same
political
thing.
enemies of
He's
Wike, calling them together and
copying Wike
yes.
without concern about copyright violation.
The copy and paste.
He's not thinking of copyright violation. It's just copy.
He's a good student of Wike.
He's talking now.
There was something that Sonny talked about briefly. I suggest that the governor is, if he continues along the path of turning this into an ethnic thing, it would derail completely. He said, by the special grace of God, what they thought they would have done to us while we were celebrating our 1 year in office, they are the ones sleeping with their 2 eyes open. It shows that we have the Ijaw blood. What is that Ijaw blood? It is the blood of action. Let's talk more action. You can't be talking about Ijaw blood here. Because there are many people who support the governor
who are not Ijaw.
In this conflict, who are not Ijaws. Some of them are even Ikweres. They are Ikweres. But if you continue to make this look like, oh, it's an Ijaw fight, then you are going to lose sympathy. Some of those people, because yes, people say that they just have more local governments than other ethnic groups, but they can't by themselves win an election to become governor. You need the upland and the riverine must work together to produce a governor. One segment cannot do it alone. If you simply win in your local government, local governments dominated by your ethnic group, you may not even have the required spread. So he needs to bear that in mind. And to add to what Sonny said on the status of those lawmakers, I've been reading, oh, by the campaign they have automatically lost their seats. By which law? It is the courts that will pronounce that they've lost their seats, and the matter will get to the final court, which is the Supreme Court. All this talk about, oh, they've lost their seats, it's not going to happen.
But that is the interpretation of Section 109.
But people,
laws
are not implemented. Laws are not implemented by simply looking at the letters of the Constitution.
It is the spirit.
The courts have the final say. We've even seen a very clear position of the law given a fresh breath by a court of law, given even a different interpretation by a court of law. We've seen that happen in our country. Sometimes
many people are still defecting. Yesterday, somebody defected from Labour Party to in Abia State, from Labour Party to one other party, from YPP to Labour Party.
So the thing is, well, you know, lawmakers, the law targets lawmakers. Governors defect, nothing happens. The law specifically targets lawmakers because of what happened during the First Republic, which led to the wet year. So it is clear that the law does not apply to every politician. But what I'm saying is, Section 109(1)(g) of the Constitution says it allows for a proviso
that if you leave,
if you can prove that there is irreconcilable differences within your party, you have to prove. The people saying, oh, somebody asked me a question and said, but Falana said that they've lost their seats. I said, is Falana a judge? Is he a judge? Is he in the High Court? I said, don't ask me that question. Ask me if he's a judge. He too goes before a judge to argue his matters. And he has not won every case that he has taken to court. So don't ask me that, oh, you see. No, we've seen even cases that lawyers were extremely confident about. You've seen, of course, tell them no, you are wrong. Look at what the judge that handled the Abelo case recently said. He said, even if the order is illegal, you must obey. Look at that now. And someone had an order that he was holding on to.
Yes.
And the judge said, okay, I will not vacate the order demanding your arrest. You should have presented yourself, so, even if the order that I gave was illegal.
Just come to court.
Yeah, just come to court. You see now, that is another way. So INEC also, as I round up, INEC received a correspondence from the speaker, the one who has the higher number of people, on the death of that Kana, the lawmaker. And INEC is planning to do a by-election.
Yeah.
That is to tell you that INEC continues to recognize that speaker, because that's the speaker who wrote to the INEC that, look, we have a vacancy, we need you to conduct an election to fill that vacancy. Only the courts can cause people to lose their seats. It is not by word of mouth, by that we are not lawyers. It is also not by word of mouth by lawyers. They have to go before a court to
get a verdict,
and the court will give a verdict. You know, so that is my, because people keep asking me.
Now, this is not in the interest of the people of Rivers State.
No.
Because this is just politics.
Distraction.
Ultimately, you know, the people will not enjoy anything from it.
And time is going.
And it's here already.
No, it's time is going.
And the hardline posture of the parties involved. What do you read between the lines?
Well, it's normal. Thomas Schillings, the British political scientist or economist, talks about power game. It's power game. Driven by ego, by the two sides. If everybody wants to deploy the tactic and game that they believe would give them advantage at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it is one side, one party that will carry the day. The two parties cannot win at the same time. But if I were to advise, I would plead with the two parties to shift their sword now and begin to work for the people. Because time is of essence. And time is fast running out.
All right. The local government is regarded